Herb, going on the football field now, we're less than a month away from camp. Going into training camp, do you find it to be quite awkward that Mark Trestman does not have a contract in hand for an extension, given that he's going to his last year of his deal?
Very much so. Absolutely. There's just no hiding that at all. You don't want a guy as a lame duck coach. At least I wouldn't. I don't think they do. You certainly see what's happened in other cities. Hufnagel has the 5-year extension. Paul LaPolice got an extension. So I'm not sure if it's, I'm not sure if there's a hang up because, of Ray Lalonde being there, if he's no longer there. Trestman's a hard guy to pin down during the winter because he's not in Montreal and he's got a number of things going on. He tutors quarterbacks. He has speaking engagements. So I'm not necessarily concerned yet. If you remember when he signed the first extension a few years ago, he had signed it months in advance, and they kept that news quiet, and they announced it at the end of the season. Now, I'm not suggesting that this has happened again, that he has signed an extension, but I don't think if he wants to remain in Montreal, I can't imagine that there will be any problem, and certainly from the people that I've spoken to, nobody seems to be greatly alarmed by it. But do I feel uncomfortable about it? I think it does look awkward. Yeah, he is going into the last year of his contract.
Joined right now by Herb Zurkowsky of the Montreal Gazette, talking about the Montreal Alouettes. Herb, of these veterans that were released, we spoke with Kerry Carter on Tuesday, and he talked about the fact that he restructured his contract in February, and then was all
I'm
of his...
glad you got him because he didn't call me back.
Well, he did mention that he restructured the contract in February, and then and then obviously now being released, it came out of left field for him, and released via an email because he was in Barbados. We asked him if he thought that this would maybe affect veteran negotiations with the Alouettes moving forward in terms of the lack of respect or something to that effect. If it would be too cutthroat now, an organization or in charge, a guy like Jim Popp in charge for veterans to start to continue to sign with the Alouettes. Do you think this could affect things?
Well, I think a lot of that the cutthroat aspect that you spoke about probably was evident because of the Ray Lalonde regime there. I don't think that was a phrase that was ever associated with this team when Larry Smith was there. Now, having said that, it's not going to, you accept a pay cut, and he's certainly not the first player that has accepted a pay cut. We can go down the list how many times Anwar Stewart, just for argument's sake, over the years accepted pay cuts. And, there's going to be scuttlebutt. There's going to be talking in the dressing room about that. And I don't know that it's going to affect guys from potential free agents from other teams coming here, but you can be sure that the guys in the Montreal dressing room will be talking about that. It just doesn't look good when a guy accepts a pay cut in February. When he takes one for the team, then he ends up getting it in the back in the long run. I really don't think that looks good at all. Now, having said that, I would dare say that Kerry Carter has probably been very well paid over the years for a guy who basically just blocks. So, in many ways, what goes around comes around.
Sure. It's Herb Zurkowsky. Again, this stuff is just riveting over the last few days. If you've been reading the Montreal Gazette, check them out online, www.montrealgazette.com or twitter.com/Herb Zurkowsky1. Nice to see you on Twitter, Herb. It's fun following you and getting the updates there as well.
Okay, I hope you're not asking me about the merits of Twitter.
No, not at all. Okay. No, not at all. But it's another
99% of what's out on Twitter is a total waste of time.
But if something breaks and it's not the morning, I like to be able to catch it right away, and we're able to do that following you now on Twitter.
Yes,
so appreciate it.
Yes, it comes in handy that way.
All right, fair enough. Enjoy the rest of the Mother's Day festivities, and we'll see you down the line. Thank you.
We'll be around soon enough. Thank you.
All right, there you go. That's Herb Zurkowsky.